Hello, bienvenidos, hola, welcome. So I can't decide if I want to call this doing the most with the least or doing like the least with the most. The only products that I'm using that are not Elf and Wet n Wild are I have some Vaseline. For some reason I don't have just a plain like balm. Who would have thought? And my makeup brushes are a mix of Elf and Wet n Wild and just things that I've collected over the years that who knows, knowing me, I probably also got them for super inexpensive prices. So my goal for today is to use the most number, like the most quantity of products while remaining the most natural looking. So we'll see how this ends up. We'll see if this works out. So we're going to start off by prepping our skin. The very first thing that I'm going to use is this Elf Primer Mist. And so I'm just going to take that. It's hydrating. Shake it up. Spritz my face a couple times. Got to get a good start to our day. We want to be as glowy and hydrated as possible because your girl has some very Sahara desert dry skin. So all the things that I am using to prep my skin and also to prep my shot is this Moisture Lock primer from Elf, some cocoa butter Vaseline, and this Elf Poreless Putty, which is, I've heard, a dupe for a very expensive one. So starting with the Vaseline, I'm going to take a little bit on my finger, just pat that on my lips where I might need it. Get quite a bit of that. Use the best tools we have in the land, our hands. I'm going to take this Elf primer and I'm going to take my finger again, and don't know if you can see in there, but a little bit goes a long way. So I'm going to take the tip of my fingernail, just a tiny amount. My other best tools, my fingers, and rub them together. So I'm going to press that in. I'm sorry for the weird faces that I make, but if you ever met me in person, you know that that happens regardless of if the camera is turned off or if it's not. The next thing that you can do is create a base for your eyes. So there are several different kinds of products that you can use. The new Liquid Catsuit from Wet n Wild in the color Camelback. So I'm taking our Wet n Wild product and I'm placing it on my ring finger directly with this. You could also take this and apply it directly to the eye. And so I have a couple palettes that I'm going to work out of today. I have the Wet n Wild Rosé in the Air palette. And I have the Elf J Kiss It palette. These are beautiful, beautiful palettes. So Rosé in the Air looks a lot like another high-end palette, but it has several great colors that are just really natural looking. Probably not like the pinks and oranges. For somebody that's natural looking. And I want it to be me, but unfortunately it is not. But like this transition shade and some of these lighter shades. And this Elf J Kiss It palette is just beautiful with some brighter colors, but we're gonna make it work for us. I am going to be taking the lightest color and just setting my entire eyelid, looking down once again so you can see what the heck is going on. Moving in and looking down, really. So with hooded eyes, you can create your crease wherever you want. My brow bone actually sits way down here underneath my eyebrow, and so I tend to take my crease up just a little bit and create it right there. Next, we're going to take a smaller blending eye brush. This one happens to be from Elf, and we're going to take the darkest color in this palette. Very lightly press in, tap it off because we don't want all that color, and in the outer corner we're going to press just a little bit. So for doing our brows, like I said, the trick to it, and these are the colors that work for me, you'll have to find the colors that work for you, is I'm going to take this Wet n Wild palette and I'm going to take this transition shade over here and this dark shade right here. So on the end of my brows, I'm going to take the dark shade and start building them up. And on the front of my brows, I'm going to take the light shade and just make sure that they have some definition. have a little more definition on our brows. And if you wanted to make them darker, you could do the whole thing with the darker shimmer. I'm going to take a brush like this, a pretty dense brush that we can use to pick up quite a bit and compact it. I'm going to go once again into this palette, and there's a beautiful shimmer shade right here. Pick some of that up. I'm using it dry because I want a more natural look. If you wanted it to be super intense and super bright, you could wet your brush, or you could spray it after you've got it on your brush. I'm going to go and put that on the lid very lightly. And just for funsies, to show you that you could amp this up, I'm going to take that Vaseline that we did. I think glossy lids are back in trend. So we're going to take the tiniest amount. We got a glisten and a gleam to us. So for my brow bone right here, to kind of highlight what we've done right there, I'm going to take that same shader brush that has just a little bit of sparkle left, and I'm going to take the very first color that we used. I know y'all are probably still thinking, wow, she's used 1,500 products and she still looks like she's wearing no makeup. Because I am, because we haven't touched our face yet. So because we're going for a glowy, natural, pretty look, I'm going to take a damp sponge and I'm going to dip it in directly into the pan. Next, I'm going to set and contour my face just a little bit, just for the sake of using the most products possible. This is a Wet n Wild contour palette. This is in the shade Dulce de Leche. The yellow shade is brightening, and so we'll use that in spots like our under eyes, like I said, and have concealer to hide these bags. So we're gonna play some tricks on the eyes, and then we're gonna use this. I have quite a round face, so we're gonna bring out any bone structure in my face by using contour. So I'm going to take this to contour, dip in with another little e.l.f. flat top brush. This really works for me. I have small features, and so it's a straight line. It helps me really get in there. Dip, tap. I'm going to, you know what, just for S's and G's, shits and giggles, I'm going to tap into this. It has some shimmer in it, and I want to be glowy. Tap her off. And I'm going to be very kind of almost careless with this. I drag it down right here so it doesn't look like I have a beard made of bronzer. No bronzer beards for us, at least not today. Maybe next. So next up is blush. I'm using an e.l.f. primer infused blush. It's a really pretty rosy color, but it can be kind of a lot if you don't use it sparingly. A way to do that is with a stipple brush and to dip in, and I'm going to do this on one side of my face to show you. You can also take a denser brush, collect it on there, tap it off, and swirl. So when I'm at this point in my makeup routine, I like to take my original sponge on the side I didn't put foundation on. I like to take that original spray that I used and go over all of that powder that I just applied to my face very gently. And this would be when I would apply mascara. So my legitimate everyday mascara is the Mega Lynx mascara from Wet n Wild. They reformulated this. I haven't tried it, but this is the one that I have. I use it on my bottom lashes every day that I wear mascara. And one of my very favorites of the moment that's brand new is the e.l.f. J Kissa mascara in brown. It is this beautiful rusty brown, natural looking color. So today that's the color that I'm gonna go with. So on that bottom lash line, this is where I'm actually gonna spice things up a little bit, and I'm gonna go in with the e.l.f. J Kissa palette. And so you can see there are some super bright colors in here, but this color right here, this BFF color, oh my god, even the My Moon color, you can make them work. I'm gonna take that blending eye brush that we used with that very first brown. I'm gonna dip into BFF, which is this bottom color, tap that off, go on my lower lash line. that very carefully. Next, I'm going to take a super, super flat top brush. So I'm going to take my moon in there. We're going to blend those together and blend those out. Hope there's a little sparkle. Hope there's a little bit of that very first like bony natural shade. Oh yes, beautiful. And then we're going to take a clean big blending brush and just sweep it across with no color on it. That's how you do it. Now it's ready for mascara because our top is dry. Now that we have our eyes complete and most of our face complete, we're going to take that original spray. I set everything down with that sponge, but we're going to give it one more spritz all over the place before we put on our highlighter. And our highlighter and our lip will be our finishing touches. The highlighter that I'm going to be using today is 23 out of the J. Kissin e.l.f. palette, which is this beautiful shade right here. It's a very beautiful champagne-y color, and you can combine it with other colors, and it like shifts. It's everything, y'all. First and foremost, I'm going to take this e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Satin Lipstick in Touch of Nude. Over the top of that, I'm going to take the Megalast Liquid Catsuit High Shine Lipstick in the shade Sin Nudes. That's the real name. I can't make this up. Oh, that's a good color match. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And over the top of that, I'm going to take the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in the shade Champagne Glam. One last spritz just for good measure and because we love ourselves. And that is the completed look. Anyway, thank you so much for letting me do this and for having the opportunity to teach you in all these weird, fantastical ways and for asking for things like this. I never in a million years could have imagined that I would have people request this from me, and y'all are my biggest supporters and stuff like this, and I could not ask for more. So thanks for hanging out with me. It's been a blast. It's been a blessing. I will catch you on the next one. Like decoloration. Like decoloration. This is gonna be like that no makeup look. But it's gonna be all the makeup, no makeup look. Did that even make sense? She's wearing some eyeshadow today. It's a look. It's a look. It might not look like a look yet, but it's a look. Poked myself in the eye. I'm so sorry if you had to see that. Just remember, like, rules are meant to be broken. And shoot the shit out of it.